If sweat alone were the secret to wealth, the hardest working people in our society would be the wealthiest. We see it every day. The person working 2 jobs, the laborer out in the sun for 12 hours, the parent who hasn't taken a day off in years. These people are exhausted, yet they are often one missed paycheck away from catastrophe. If you are tired of the generic advice to just work harder, it's because, deep down, you know that hard work is only half of the equation. You've seen people do everything right. They show up on time, they follow the rules, they exert themselves. And yet 10 years later, they are in the exact same financial position they were when they started. The uncomfortable truth is that hard work without direction is just a slow way to wear yourself out. Most people stay stuck not because they lack effort, but because they are operating with a map that is fundamentally broken. They've been taught that the goal of work is survival rather than stewardship. They've been told that if they just keep their heads down and do what they're told, eventually, things will work out. But the world doesn't reward you for your effort. It rewards you for the value you provide and the wisdom with which you manage what you earn. The first reason most people stay poor despite their hard work is a lack of specific direction. Imagine a man who decides he's going to build a house. He picks up a hammer and starts swinging it at random pieces of wood. He works until his hands bleed. He works until he collapses from exhaustion. At the end of the day, he has a pile of splinters, not a home. He worked hard, but he had no blueprint. Most people treat their careers and their finances like that man with the hammer. They react to the demands of the day rather than following a long-term plan. They are busy, but they aren't productive. To move beyond survival, you have to stop asking, "How can I get through this day?" and start asking, "What am I building with the hours I have been given?" Success is a matter of architectural precision. It requires you to define a clear purpose and then align your daily effort with that purpose, even when it's boring and especially when it's difficult. This leads us to the second trap, the consumption mindset. We live in a world designed to separate you from your money the moment you earn it. We are bombarded with the idea that our worth is tied to what we own, the car we drive, the clothes we wear, the electronics in our pockets. Most people work hard just to fund a lifestyle they can't actually afford, trying to impress people who aren't even paying attention. When you spend every dollar you earn to maintain an image, you are essentially trading your freedom for a temporary feeling of status. You are working for the bank, the landlord, and the retail store, but you aren't working for yourself or your family's future. True financial stability is built on the foundation of self-control. It is the ability to say no to a temporary craving today so that you can have permanent security tomorrow. It's about viewing money not as something to be spent, but as a seed to be planted. This brings us to the concept of stewardship and responsibility. There is a common habit of blaming external forces for our lack of progress, the economy, the government, our upbringing, or our employers. While it is true that the world is often unfair, focusing on what you cannot control is a recipe for permanent stagnation. The moment you blame someone else for your situation, you give away your power to change it. A person who understands responsibility views themselves as a manager of their life. They realize that they have been entrusted with a certain amount of time, a certain set of skills, and a certain amount of income. Their job is to manage those resources with total honesty and diligence. If you cannot be trusted to manage a small amount of money with integrity, you will never be prepared to handle a large amount. Responsibility means looking at your bank statement and admitting that your choices brought you here, and that your choices are the only thing that can lead you out. Third, we must address the shortcut delusion. We are a society obsessed with the get-rich-quick scheme. We want the result without the process. We want the harvest without the season of planting. This is why people gamble, why they fall for automated income traps, and why they bounce from one trend to another. But anything built quickly is usually destroyed quickly. True success is quiet, it is slow, and it is remarkably boring. It is the result of doing the right things, saving, learning, serving, and investing, over a long period of time with unshakable patience. The wealthy don't look for shortcuts, they look for foundations. They understand that a tree that grows too fast often has shallow roots and will fall in the first storm. They want to be the oak tree, deeply rooted, steady, and able to withstand any season. The fourth pillar of this shift is the transition from selling time to providing value. Most people are poor because they only know how to sell their time. They have a rate per hour, and because time is limited, their income is capped. To break out of this, you have to shift your focus to the value you provide to others. Hard work is common. Solving difficult problems is rare. If you want to change your financial reality, you must increase your capacity to be useful to other people. This requires a commitment to lifelong learning. Most people stop learning the moment they leave school. They let their skills stagnate, and then they wonder why their income doesn't grow. You must become a person of such skill and integrity that your contribution becomes indispensable. Success is a reflection of the problems you solve for your community and the spirit in which you solve them. Finally, we have to talk about service. There is a dangerous idea that the goal of wealth is to stop working and live a life of pure ease. This is a hollow vision. True success is not the absence of work. It is the freedom to do the work you were meant to do. It is the ability to provide for your family, to support your community, and to be a source of strength for those who are struggling. When your goal is purely selfish, when you just want more for the sake of having more, you will find that you are never satisfied. But when you view your financial growth as a way to increase your capacity to serve others, you find a level of motivation and discipline that fear can never provide. You aren't just working for a paycheck. You are working to be a person of impact. You are working to be a light in a world that often feels dark. This path is not easy. It requires you to walk away from the crowd. It requires you to be honest about your mistakes and disciplined with your impulses. It requires you to stop looking for someone to save you and start realizing that you have already been given the tools to build a life of meaning and stability. As you move forward from today, I want you to sit in silence and look at your life with total, unvarnished honesty. Stop looking at your effort and start looking at your results. Are you moving toward a specific destination, or are you just running because everyone else is? Take one area of your life. Maybe it's your spending, maybe it's your skills, maybe it's your daily routine, and apply the principle of stewardship to it. Stop wasting the small things. Start being faithful in the details. Wealth is not an accident of birth or a stroke of luck. It is the compounding interest of character, wisdom, and service. You have the responsibility to be more than just hardworking. You have the calling to be wise, to be disciplined, and to be a person who leaves the world better than they found it. The road is long, and there are no shortcuts. But for the person who is willing to take responsibility, to define their purpose, and to serve others with integrity, the destination is certain. Take one honest look at your habits today. Which ones are building your future and which ones are just keeping you busy while you stay in the same place? The choice to change your direction belongs to you alone. Stop rowing in circles, pick a shore, and start moving.
But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added to you. Matthew 6:33. May the Lord bless you and guide you in every good work.